Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Namaste to all gadgeted officers, IAS, IPS, doctors, surgeons. The success does not come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. Each small effort, each update you learn takes you one step closer to your goal. So let's just stay consistent and move ahead together with today's current affairs updates. We have completed 12 updates and moving forwards to complete the next updates. So I have included for every update, I have included important prelims and mains question for UPSC, BPSC, SSC, SBI banking exams. So let's begin with full energy. My dear aspirants, keep revising these updates and practice the included questions. So with consistency, success in UPSC, BPSC, SSC, SBI, IBPS, many others exam will surely be yours. Let's get started. Next news is cloudburst and flash flood surveys in Himalayan states. So the National Disaster Management Authority and Jammu and Kashmir State Disaster Management Authority have launched a detailed survey to study cloudburst and flash floods in Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. So National Disaster Management Authority and Jammu and Kashmir State Disaster Management Authority have launched a detailed survey to study cloudburst and flash floods in Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and Himachal Pradesh. So this initiative aims to identify the sources and what are the reason of disaster. They used satellite mapping by the help of Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. For that, they are using satellites to know about the reason of disasters, reason of cloudburst and flash floods in Jammu, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and Himachal Pradesh. So they focus on understanding the ground condition in the Himalayas and developing strategies to build disaster resilient infrastructures. So the survey objectives includes to trace the origin of sudden water increase which is causing flash floods. ISRO satellites, they are using ISRO satellites. So they ISRO satellite imagery helps monitor inaccessible Himalayan region, the region which are not accessible. So ISRO satellite help to know about the inaccessible Himalayan region, including glacial lakes which are prone to bursting. The multidisciplinary approach combines geological, hydrological, and climatic data. So they are taking geological, hydrological, climatic data to pinpoint what are the reason, what are the causative factors. So the goal is to propose preventive and remedial measure to reduce damage and loss of life. Causes of cloudburst and flash floods in Jammu, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and Himachal Pradesh. Cloudburst occur when there are more amount of rainfalls, intense rainfalls happens in a very short period of time, which is the reason of rapid water accumulation. In the Himalayas, additional factors include glacial lake outburst floods, which is triggered by melting, which is the reason of melting of glacier and microseismic activity. So, earthquake and ground movement fractures rock. Earthquake and ground movements fracture rock masses, which allows water to gush into to flood with high hydraulic pressure. So climatic changes aggravate these phenomena by increasing glacier melt and seismic activity. So impact on Himalayan regions in Ramban and Rizi district of Jammu Kashmir. Cloudburst and landslide have led to many death and destruction of homes. The recurring continuous disaster show the vulnerability of settlements near Himalayan foothills. About the disaster resilient infrastructure and awareness, experts stress the need for disaster resilient construction such as earthquake proof house, bridges, and power plants. Engineering solutions similar to those in Japan, uh, a tectonically active nation, are recommended. Additionally, local communities must be made aware of this type of risk and safety measures should be taken place. See, about seismicity and climatic change link. So the Himalayan region is highly seismogenic. It means with frequent micro earthquakes, which cause a rock fracturing. Because of micro earthquake, it causes fracturing. Climate change intensify glacier melting, reducing ice thickness and lithospheric load. So this can increase seismic activity and further destabilize the region. So the combined effect of seismicity and climate change creates a augmented disaster risk profile. So future measure taken is to this includes mapping vulnerable zones, monitoring glacial lakes, and improving early warning systems. So integrating scientific data with local knowledge is critical. Sustainable development and environmental conservation are emphasized to prevent destruction of flora and fauna, plant and animals of species which can worsen disaster impacts. So one prelims question is given with reference to recent survey on cloudburst and flash floods in Himalayan states. Consider the following statements. The mains question is given cloudburst and flash floods are increasing in frequency and intensity in the Himalayan region. So explain the causes, ecological and socio-economical impacts and the measure suggested by recent survey to mitigate disaster risk. One liner for quick recall, cloudburst sudden extreme because reason is the sudden extreme rainfall which triggers flash flood in Himalayas. Survey, it is important survey for risk mapping and early warning to save the people. So flowchart is also given causes. What are the causes? Intense rainfall, more than 100 millimeter per hour, steep Himalayan slopes, glacial melt, climate change, deforestation, unplanned construction. So these are the reason of sudden intense rainfall, cloudburst and flash floods. Events are cloudburst, flash floods, impacts, and then survey findings, and then management pressure. So practice this flowchart. It's given about the image also. Now, next news is brain eating amoeba in Kerala. So it's a very shocking news and dangerous news also. A 15-year-old boy in Kerala dies of rare type of infection which is caused by brain eating amoeba. So Kerala confronted a new health crisis after a cluster of brain infection, fatal, that is a fatal, it causes death. Emerged in it is seen in Kozhikode and neighboring districts of Kerala. So the cause was identified as a rare disease, a rare problem as a Neisseria fowleri. Neisseria fowleri, which is a rare but deadly amoeba. It causes death. So it is known as a deadly. So it is a deadly amoeba. Name is Neisseria flori that infects the human brain, and it is happened through the contaminated fresh water. If a person consume contaminated fresh water, it is first seen in Kerala. This outbreak exposed vulnerabilities in the state's healthcare system despite its reputation strong public health infrastructure. About the Neisseria fowleri is a free-living amoeba which is found in warm water bodies like ponds, wells and rivers, and it enters the human body through the nose and rapidly destroy brain tissue of human. It is causing primarily amoebic meningoencephalitis (PAM), first identified in the year 1965 in Australia. Country name is Australia in 1965. It has since caused outbreaks globally, especially in the country who is having warm climates. Kerala reported its first death in 2016, but the 2024 in surge marked an unprecedented increase in cases. Recent outbreaks about that 2024 outbreaks saw 29 confirmed cases, mostly in southern Kerala districts. Unlike global fertility rates increasing 97%, Kerala saved 24% through aggressive treatment. With the help of aggressive treatment, Kerala saved 24% and use of miltefosine and antiparasitic drugs. So miltefosine is used to treat certain type of leishmaniasis. This medicine is available only through the doctor prescription. So Kerala saved 24% with the help of miltefosine and an antiparasitic drug. The infection comes from contaminated water sources and unsafe community practices like bathing in ponds and sniffing water mixed with tobacco powders. Water mixed with tobacco powder. Factors driving the surge increase. Rising temperature create ideal condition for this amoeba. Amoeba name is Nigeria flori to grow. So experts attribute the rise to a combination of climate change, increase in temperature, environmental contamination, and cultural habitats. So sewage and organic waste also pollute water bodies and increasing this infection. Traditional practices expose individual directly to untreated water in facilitating amoeba entry. About the healthcare response, Kerala's health system responded by enhancing diagnostic capabilities. As you know, the Kerala is improved in everything. So Kerala's health system responded by improving diagnostic capabilities with a new public health laboratory in Trivandrum. Clinicians receive training to identify suspected case early and start immediate treatment. Experience from previous outbreaks, which happened just as Nipah virus, help improve survival rates. However, the outbreak strained medical resources and reveals the limit of even a strong healthcare network. About the broader implication, amoebas spreads beyond ponds to wells, tanks, soil, dust, signals a changing microbial landscape influenced by climatic warming, hot temperature. So amoeba spreading its and contaminating ponds, wells, tanks, soil, and this spread through contaminated water. So Kerala's success in controlling traditional diseases is now challenged by emerging pathogen, disease causing microorganism, and environmental changes. So the brain eating amoeba outbreaks marks the fragility of health gains and ecological shift, and the need for vigilant public health strategies. It is required to take care of health. So prelims MCQ question is given, and then mains question is given. Just pause the video and practice these two questions. Then one liner for quick recall is given. Nigeria flori brain eating amoeba in warm fresh water causes deadly brain infection. PAM. So flowchart brain eating amoeba Kerala cases. Name of that amoeba is Nigeria flori. Habitat warm fresh water, lakes, river, pools, poorly chlorinated water, contaminated water. Transmission water enters nose, travel to your brain. Disease primarily amoebic meningoencephalitis. Symptoms fever, headache, stiff neck, seizures, etc. Impacts higher fertility rates, and more than 95% will die. It is reported in Kerala and other warm region. Prevention and control: avoid swimming in untreated warm waters. Proper chlorination of pools are required. Public awareness and research for effective treatment is required. Next news is Semicon India 2025. India semiconductor sector took a major development with the inauguration of Semicon India 2025 by Prime Minister at Yasubhumi, New Delhi. The 3-day event from 2nd to 4th September is set to witness over 20,750 participants, including 2,500 delegates from 48 countries. From 48, 2,500 delegates from 48 countries to discuss India's growing role in global semiconductor design and manufacturing. So it is a great breakthrough for India, Semicon India 2025. Major step with the inauguration of Semicon India 2025. So Semicon India aimed to catalyze a strong and sustainable semiconductor ecosystem. So key topics included semiconductor fabrication plants, advanced packaging, smart manufacturing, artificial intelligence, research and development, and investment opportunities. So the conference also focused on state level policy implementation and international cooperation to strengthen India's semiconductor industry. Prime Minister role and vision is to position India as a global hub for semiconductor design, manufacturing, and technology development. So the conference marks the perform phase of the national initiative, which the name of the phase is perform phase of the national initiative, which is following the earlier reform and transform phase. First perform phase, reform phase, transform phase. So this phase emphasizes the implementation and scaling of semiconductor projects across the country. So scaling means to referring to increase or decrease the size of any object. So key projects in infrastructure developments, 4 new semiconductor facilities were sanctioned recently, focusing on packaging, silicon, carbide, discrete semiconductors, and 3D glass technology. So the Micron facility approved in 2023 is nearing completion. Major fab projects are underway in Gujarat, Dholera and Sananand and Assam Jagi Road. So these developments are supported by workforce training and logistic infrastructure to ensure smooth operation. About policy and incentives, the production linked incentive scheme is designed to expand the MSME base by creating upstream and downstream value chains. The Design Link Incentive Scheme promotes innovation and design capabilities. The government aims to encourage private sector participation and support homegrown semiconductor companies through incentive and collaboration, focusing on product development and intellectual property rights. About international participation, Semicon India 2025 hosted 6 countries. How many countries the Semicon India 2025 hosted? 6 countries. 6 country roundtable discussion and featured country pavilions. They featured country pavilions. Over 50 global technology leaders shared their insights, reinforcing India's position on the global semiconductor map. Now, growth of Semicon India conference, it provides, since its launch in 2022, Semicon India has become a flagship platform for semiconductor advancement in India. It provides edition were held in previously edition were held in Bengaluru in the year 2022, Gandhinagar in 2023, and Greater Noida in 2024. So the conferences aim to showcase technological progress in semiconductor and policy frameworks to boost the semiconductor industry in India and worldwide. Prelims question is given. Just pause the video. Mains question is given. One liner for quick recall is also given. Semicon India 2025. India's push to become a global semiconductor hub under Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. So flowchart is also given. Objective is to promote India as a global hub for semiconductor design and manufacturing. Significance: reduce import dependence, supports Atmanirbhar Bharat, boost Digital India and R&D, job creation and innovation challenges are also there. Now, next news is indigenous Vikram 32-bit microprocessor. India recently revealed the Vikram 3201. Vikram 3201. It is fully homemade, India-made indigenous 32-bit microprocessor, which is designed for space application. Vikram 3201 for space application. So it is India's indigenous 32-bit microprocessor, which is designed for a space application. So it is developed by ISRO with Semiconductor Laboratory SCL Chandigarh. This chip marks a step towards self-dependence in semiconductor technology. The processor is built to withstand extreme space conditions, and it will also power critical function in space launch vehicles. About Vikram 3201 microprocessor, it is a semiconductor microprocessor specifically designed for rockets and satellites. It is specifically designed for rockets and satellites. So it is the first Indian microprocessor fabricated at this scale and specification for launch space launch vehicle avionics. Unlike consumer processor, it operates under very harsh space conditions. It operates under extreme temperature, extreme radiation, and vibration. So it succeeds the Vikram 1601. Vikram 3201 is more powerful than Vikram 1601. Vikram 1601 is a 16-bit chip used by ISRO since 2009. About the technical features and upgrades of after Vikram 1601 is Vikram 3201. It has 32-bit architecture microprocessor, which allows it to handle more data with high precision. Precision rate is high. Accuracy is high. So it supports 64-bit floating point operation, which is essential for accurate trajectory and guideline calculation. The processor is compatible with ADA programming language, widely used in aerospace for safety critical system. It also introduces on-chip 1553B bus interface for seamless communication with other avionics modules. It is fabricated using 180 nanometer CMOS technology. It balances reliability and performance for space grade applications. So these are the advantages of Vikram 3201, which has been successfully tested in space abroad the PSLV C60 mission. So mission is a PSLV C16 mission. C60 mission. PSLV C60 mission. It is powering the mission management computer on the PSLV orbital experiment module POM4. So the Vikram 3201 has been successfully tested in space aboard the PSLV C60 mission, which is powering the mission management computer on the PSLV orbital experiment module. So this in-orbit validation confirmed its strong robustness and functionality. The first production batches were handed over to ISRO in early 2025. It was given to ISRO in early 2025, signaling readiness for wider deployment in future space mission. So significance, it can endure, it can tolerate radiation, high radiation temperature, extreme temperature, mechanical stress. So previously India depended on foreign processor for critical space mission, totally dependent on foreign processor. The Vikram 3201 reduces this dependence on foreign processor and enhances India's strategic autonomy space technology. It is supporting ecosystem. ISRO has developed a full software ecosystem around Vikram 3201, including ADA compilers, assemblers, linkers, simulators, and integrated development environments. A C language compiler is also in progress. Alongside Vikram 3201, ISRO introduced other indigenous devices like reconfigurable data acquisition system, relay driver ICs, and low dropout regulators ICs. Together, this reduced dependence on imported electronics in launch vehicle avionics. About India's semiconductor push, the launch took place at Semicon India 2025, a conference focusing on semiconductor fabrication, AI innovation, and global partnership. So the government is building 5 semiconductor units under the Design Link Incentive Scheme to boost local production and establish a full supply chain. Sorry. One liner for quick recall, Vikram 32-bit, India's India's RISC-V microprocessor by CDEC. It boasts Atmanirbhar Bharat and tech sovereignty. Flowchart is given, Vikram 32-bit microprocessor features is given, RISC-V based design, 32-bit architecture, high power and cost effective, supports LOT and embedded system. Significance, application is given and future roadmap is given. Next news is Israel launches OFEC 19 military satellite. OFEC 19 military satellites. So launch of Israel OFEC 19 satellite on 2nd September 2025 marks a major leap in development in regional intelligence and defense capabilities. So with the help of OFEC 19 military satellites, Israel marks a major leap in regional intelligence and defense capabilities. So these advanced reconnaissance satellite uses synthetic aperture radar (SAR) technology, enabling continuous all-weather surveillance. These satellites able to do the continuous all-weather surveillance day and night. So it help in strengthening Israel's independent space-based intelligence and also help in improving security cooperation with allies like United States. About OFEC 9 satellite and synthetic aperture radar, OFEC 19 is equipped with synthetic aperture radars, which sends radar pulses to the ground and analyzes the echoes to create detailed images. Unlike optical satellites, it can operate through clouds, fog, rain, and darkness. So these capabilities allows Israel to monitor hostile activities continuously, including military movements and infrastructure changes in neighboring countries. About the strategic importance for Israel, Israel is one of the few nations able to design, build, and launch its own satellite independently. Using the Savit launcher from Palmachin Air Base, Israel controls the timing and secrecy of its launches. The satellite is launched westwards over the Mediterranean Sea to avoid debris falling on populated or hostile areas despite requiring more rocket power. So, regional securities of 19 improve Israel's ability to track threats from Iran, and Syria and militant groups like Hezbollah. So it provides high resolution images with greater than half meter accuracy. The satellite also strengthens intelligence sharing with United States, reinforcing their strategic partnership. About technological evolution, this launch concludes the Savit launch's operational era. Israel is developing a new larger launcher for heavier satellites to improve capabilities further. Alongside large satellite, Israel is investing in a small satellite constellation to increase revisit rates and provide near real-time coverage. So the hybrid approach combines high resolution imaging with persistent surveillance. About operational deployment, after launch, OFEC 19 entered orbit successfully and began transmitting data. It is currently undergoing test by Israel's Directorate of Defense Research and Development and Aerospace Industries. Once operational, it will be managed by Unit 9900. The IDF's Visual and Geospatial Intelligence Unit tasked with utilizing the satellite's advanced capabilities. So there are recent conflicts, including the rising lion war with Iran. There are recent conflicts, including the rising lion war with Iran. It demonstrated the critical role of a space asset in modern warfare. So OFEC 19 satellite launch aligned with Israel's strategy to expand its space presents. The Ministry of Defense plans to invest billions in satellite constellation to ensure continuous surveillance across the Middle East in the coming decade. Next news is Agnikar 2025. The Government of India launched Agnikar 2025 on 4 September in New Delhi. This campaign aims to accelerate the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Urban 2.0, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Urban 2.0. So it focuses on increasing awareness, fast tracking application, verification, and expediting house completion under this scheme. So the campaign will run across more than 5,000 urban local bodies for 2 months. So Agnika 2025 is a last mile outreach campaign under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana 2.0. So it helps in bridging the gap between scheme benefits and beneficiaries. The campaign targets vulnerables, weaken easy urban population to ensure they receive housing support. It also promotes credit risk guarantee fund trust for low income housing scheme. Another goal is to integrate Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana benefits with Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana U Housing Assistance. So this campaign covers over 5,000 ULBs across India. It will run from 4th September. These were designed to engage beneficiary and stakeholders in Jan Bhagidari movements. So this aims to fast track the completion of remaining sanctioned houses. So Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana U 2.0 launch in September. It aims to benefit 1 crore additional families. Financial assistance up to 2.50 lakh is provided for construction or purchasing Pakka house. So far 120 lakh houses have been sanctioned under PMAYU. So of these 94.11 lakh houses have been completed and delivered to beneficiary. Amount given is 2.50 lakh. Now, this Awas flagship events, Pradhan Mantri Awas Mela, Sehri will be held at district headquarters and municipal corporation levels. So it will run in 2 phases. This event will showcase scheme benefits and support community outreach. So it will also conduct additional local activities to maintain campaign momentum. Now, what is the significance of OFIC 19 satellites? It is given in the previous about that previous we have learned about that. And then main question is given, an OFIC 19 Israel spy satellite boost ISR and strengthen Middle East security. So Israel's launches OFIC 19 2025 features, then strategic importance, regional impact, global context. So features military reconnaissance, satellite, high resolution imaging, indigenous Israeli design, operates in low Earth orbit, strategic significance, regional impact, global context of Israel launches of a 19 satellite. Next stage is tropical deforestation linked to thousand of death annually. Thousand of death because of tropical deforestation. Recent research marks the deadly impact of causing death to because of tropical deforestation, cutting of trees or local temperatures and human health, affecting human health. Between 2001 and 2020, deforestation in tropical region caused nearly 28,000 excess deaths each year. The study reveals how forest loss drives increase in temperature, exposing millions to dangerous heats. In temperature is increasing. Southeast Asia faces the highest death rate, followed by tropical Africa and America. Deforestation and local temperature rise. Tropical deforestation has raised daytime land surface temperature by an average of 0.27 degrees Celsius. Some areas experience warming up to 0.7 degrees Celsius or more. The highest temperature increases occurred in South Asia, Central and South America, and tropical Africa. Forest loss leads to reduced shade and moisture, increasing heat locally. About the scale of exposure, approximately 345 million people live in areas which are affected by deforestation, which is caused of local warming. So, of these, 33 million experience temperature rises, increases above 1 degree Celsius, 8 million above 2 degrees Celsius, and 2.6 million above 3 degrees Celsius. So, tropical belt hosts over 3.5 billion people with 13% living in zones of forest loss. 13% people are living in zones of forest loss. Southeast Asia, tropical Africa, Central and South America are the most affected region. So dense population in this area increase vulnerability to heat related health problem. So health consequences are also there because of increase in temperature, because of deforestation. It is linked to an estimated 28,330 non-accidental deaths annually. The majority of this death occur in Southeast Asia, especially Indonesia. Majority of this death occur in Southeast Asia, especially country name is Indonesia, due to its large population and high deforestation rates. Tropical Africa follows with nearly 9,900 excess death each year. Heat also affect cognitive function and reduces labor productivity. So between 2003 and 2018, 2.8 million outdoor workers lost safe thermal working condition due to rising temperature. About environmental and global implication, so deforestation not only increase the temperature of local areas but also releases more CO2 because there is a less green plant to release more oxygen to increase carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So from 2014 to 2023, tropical deforestation released 1.7 gigatons of CO carbon dioxide. So there is annually about 15% of global human caused emission, 15% caused by human. So this contributes to global climate change, increase in temperature beyond local warming effects. The study's death rate are also conservative as they exclude deaths caused by broader climate impacts and warming outside deforested zones. So there are some regional hotspot of deforestation. Key deforestation hotspots include Amazon's arc of deforestation, which is part of Central America, like Guatemala and Nicaragua, West Africa countries such as Ivory Coast and Ghana, Central and Eastern Africa, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, and mainland Southeast Asia, covering Cambodia and Vietnam. So these are the key deforestation hotspots. These areas face the combined challenges of forest loss, rising temperature, and vulnerable population affects human health also. So tropical deforestation, more population, climate stress, thousands of deaths annually because of health crisis and climate crisis. Prelims question, mains question is given. Kindly practice this question. Tropical rainforest for flowchart is given. Air pollution, PM 2.5, smoke, greenhouse gas emission, disrupted rainfall cycle, rising temperatures, human health consequences, many disorder, respiratory, malnutrition, crop loss, outcomes and solution. What are the solutions? So kindly practice and practice along with the flow charts. Images given about that. Tropical primarily forest loss 2002 to 2022. Next news is Atlantic meridional overturning circulation collapse. So Atlantic meridional overturning circulation AMOC. Atlantic meridional overturning circulation is facing a unprecedented risk of collapse which is not existed before, means it is facing an collapse within the next century. It is not expected before, happened before. So recent research reveals that the tipping point for a Atlantic meridional overturning circulation could be reached in just a few decades, although the full collapse may take 50 to 100 years to occur. So these development marks shift in climate risk assessment, denoting the urgent need to understand and reduce the consequences of this ocean currents weakening. So what is Atlantic meridional overturning circulation? It is a key component of global ocean conveyor belt. It transports warm surface waters from the tropics to the northern hemisphere. Upon cooling, this water sinks. Upon cooling, this water sinks and flows back southward as deep current. So this circulation distributes heat and nutrients across the world's ocean and affects influences climate patterns globally. So it is about the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation. Current status and vulnerability of AMOC studied, so AMOC is at its weakest in 1600 years. Melting Greenland ice, Arctic freshwater influx, reduced water density, weakening the sinking process that drives that AMOC. So climate model predict a 34 to 45% weakening of Gulf Stream, which is part of AMOC by 2100. So this weakening brings the system dangerously close to an unstable tipping point. So consequences of AMOC collapse. So if AMOC collapses, if it fails, Europe's climate will cool, and it will be losing the warming effect of Gulf Stream. So if AMOC collapses, Europe's climate will cool, losing the warming effect of the Gulf Stream. It also affect northern hemisphere. Rainfall patterns will shift, with Europe seeing less precipitation. Northern Atlantic will experience cooling, increased sea area near Greenland, and a southward shift of tropical rain belts. So these changes could disturb ecosystem, agriculture, and human settlement. Role of other ocean in AMOC dynamics: increase rainfall over the Indian Ocean, reduces Atlantic precipitation, raising salinity amount of salt in the tropical Atlantic. Saltier water sinks faster, temporarily strengthening AMOC. So it's strengthened AMOC because of saltier water sinks very fastly. However, if warning in the Pacific matches the Pacific Ocean, matches the Indian Ocean, this effect may cease, removing a potential stabilizing influence. About the future projection and climate implication, The tipping point may be crossed within decades due to ongoing global warming. So the full shutdown could take up to century. It could take up to century, but its impact will be deep and long lasting. So this marks the critical need for climate action to prevent crossing dangerous thresholds. Prelims and mains question is given. One liner for quick recall. AMOC collapse. Ocean conveners breakdown. Reason monsoon shift. Sea level rise. Extreme weather. Climate cause. Now, Atlantic meridionum overtuning circulation, causes of weakening, consequences, global impact, solution are given. Pause the video, practice along with your answer. If the Atlantic circulation system weaken, it could lead to a world of climate chaos. Today, the Gulf Stream is a part of both the horizontal subtropical area and the vertical Atlantic meridional overturning circulation. So, warm surface current driven by winds and replenish sinking. Second is what is happening? Close to the poles, water and the heat transferred from the tropics to the northern latitudes. And then it close to the poles, water cools, becomes heavier and sinks to the bottoms. Then the cold patterns, deep water is exported southwards. In the warmer world, climate change weakened the AMOC, which slows the Gulf Stream down. So it's also the water has become fresher and lighter and therefore sinks less. It becomes less, sinks less. Now, much less heat and water are transferred. Gulf Stream that given the Gulf Stream weakens, but the portion pushed by wind remains. Next news is Indore awarded IGBC Green City Platinum certification. India has emerged as a leading example of sustainable urban development in India. So recently, Indore became the first city in Madhya Pradesh and one of the 3 cities in the country to receive the prestigious second Indian Green Building Council City Platinum certification. Green City Platinum certification. So it recognizes excellence in environmental management and green urban planning. So Indore is experienced, shows its excellence in environmental management and green urban planning. About the IGBC Green City certification, it is a rigorous difficult evaluation system developed by CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. It is developed by Confederation of Indian Industry. It assesses cities on multiple sustainability parameters, include water, energy conservation, solid waste management, green cover expansion, e-governance, and policy frameworks. So it aims to promote sustainable living and eco-friendly urban growth. About evaluation process and criteria, Indore underwent a detailed 6-month evaluation by IGBC experts and submitted extensive data on more than a dozen parameters. In those initiatives in cleanliness, air quality improvement, and livability will also key factors in getting these certificates. Indore excelled in water management, improved in water management, by implementing efficient uses and recycling methods. Solid waste management system is also advanced in Indore, which is focusing on segregation and reducing of landfill waste. Cities e-governance initiative is also improved. So these efforts combine to create a sustainable and future-ready urban environment. Significance of the awards: Indore's recognition places it's among an elite group of prestigious group of 32 cities and zones in India with IGBC Platinum status. It joins Rajkot, Pune, and Pimpri Chinchwad as Platinum certified cities. The award marks Madhya Pradesh's commitment to sustainable development. So it reflects India's growing focus on green building and urban sustainability. About IGBC role in promoting green buildings, since its inception, IGBC has certified over 16,300 projects in India. So nearly 90% of green building projects in India follow IGBC rating system. So this wide-step adoption makes IGBC the most credible framework for sustainable urban development in the country. So pre-question, mains question is given, answer point is given, just pause the video and practice is, flowchart is again given. So IGBC Green City Platinum certification, what are the reasons? So it's just pause the video and do that. In those clean city, green city, citizen friendly city, IGBC platinums. Indoor clean city, green city, citizen friendly city, IGBC platinum. Next news is United States court limits precedent tariff powers under IEEPA. Recent development in the United States have challenged the scope of precedent authority in imposing tariffs under emergency powers. So on August 29, 2025, the United States Courts of Appeals for the Federation Circuit ruled 7-4 that several tariff announcements by President Donald Trump were illegal. United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit ruled 7-4 that several tariff announcements by President Donald Trump were illegal. The court held that President does not have wide-ranging authority to impose tariffs under the International Emergency Economics Power Act. The court held that the President does not have wide-ranging authority to impose tariffs under the IEEPA of 1977, IIPA, International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So this ruling upheld an earlier decision by Manhattan Trade Court, but has been stayed until October pending an appeal to the Supreme Court. So this case marks tension between executive power and legislative oversight in trade policy. What is the background of International Emergency Economic Powers Act? So it was enacted in 1977 to replace the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917. It grants the United States President authority to declare a national emergency in response to unusual threats from abroad affecting national security, foreign policy, or the economy. So historically, presidents have used IIPA to freeze asset or impose sanctions during crises, such as 1979 Iran hostage crisis and after the September 11 attacks in 2001. What are significance of United States trade policy and executive authorities? So the court decision marks check on the executive branch's unilateral use of emergency power in trade matters. So they reinforce the principle that broad economic measure must have clear legal backing and congressional oversights. So Trump's use of emergency power for tariff. So Donald Trump invoked the IIPA multiple times to justify tariffs aimed at reducing the United States trade deficit. His administration imposed sweeping tariffs on imports from Mexico, Canada, China, and other countries, citing a national emergency due to unfair trade practices and lack of reciprocity. So notably, in February 2025, he announced 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada to pressure them on immigration and drug trafficking issue. In April, he introduced a 10% baseline tariff and additional reciprocal tariffs targeting countries with large trade surplus against the United States. There are some legal challenges and court rulings. Several American small businesses and democratic-led states challenged Trump's tariff order, arguing they cause economic harm and exceed presidential authority. So the United States Court of International Trade ruled in May 2025 that IIPA does not authorize unlimited tariffs. So there are impact on tariff measures. The ruling do not affect tariffs imposed under the other trade laws. These include Section 232 of Trade Expansion Act of 1962, which allows tariff on steel, aluminium, automobiles, and copper based on national security investigations. Tariff on solar panels under Section 201 of the Trade Act of 1974 and Section 301 tariff on China for unfair trade practices. So it's remain valid. It remains valid. So these law require formal investigation and congressional involvement, unlike the emergency powers under IIPA. Next news is killer whales provisioning humans. Recent observation reveal an unusual behavior among killer whales. Name of that killer whales are Orcinus orca. Orcinus orca. These large dolphins have been seen sharing freshly caught prey with humans. Unlike tropical wild animal interaction, killer whales wait for humans. These killer whales wait for humans to respond before retrieving their offspring. The behavior has sparked scientific interest into the reason behind such interspecies. What are the uncommon interaction between species? Killer whales are known for social prey, sharing within their pods and occasionally with other species. However, interaction involving humans, it interacting with human are very rare. Researchers collected data from 2004 to 2024 across 5 oceanic regions about killer whales. They analyzed 34 confirmed cases where whales approach humans from a distance of at least 15 meters underwater and offered prey directly. In 33 cases, the whales waited for a human response before taking back the prey or leaving. Before taking back the prey or leaving. So, about the varied prey and human responses, the prey offered included seaweed, fish, invertebrates, reptile, birds, and mammals. Some humans initially declined the offspring, often due to surprise and hesitation. When rejected, killer whales frequently shared the prey with other pod members. So, this sharing occurred in 76% of such cases. This finding suggests the behavior is deliberate and involves social communication. So, intelligence and social structure of killer whales. Killer whales are apex predators with large brains relative to body size, a trait called encephalization. This supports advanced cognition. Killer whales have advanced cognition, learning, and social behaviors. Friendly and curious leaders may encourage more interaction with humans, while cautious ones may limit it. About exploration or play, while some experts suggest the behavior might be play, this is unlikely. Play is thinking that it is mostly a play, but play is mostly observed in juveniles and occurs after nutritional needs are met. Here, adults and juveniles shared whole prey, indicating active exploration rather than play. Exploration helps animals reduce uncertainty about their environment and social partners, reflecting advanced intelligence. About the evidence of learning and possible manipulation, in some cases, whales adapted their behavior based on human reaction, how human is reacting. So, whales adapted their behavior based on human reaction, such as reciprocating when prey was thrown back. This suggests a form of scientific thinking posing question and seeking answer. However, researchers caution the behavior might also be Machiavellian, involving manipulation for personal gain, as seen in whales stealing fish or damaging boats. Role of citizen science. Most observation came from amateur enthusiasts and citizen scientists. Despite anecdotal origin, such contributions are valuable for rare event documentation and increasing sample sizes. So these efforts expand scientific understanding beyond what traditional research alone can achieve. There are few implications as human killer whales interaction increase. Whale behavior may shift towards friendliness or hostility, enmity, influenced by pod leadership. So these encounters can deepen human interest in killer whales and promote their conservation. People tend to protect species they feel connected to, and killer whales appear to be reaching out in return. So, killer whale provisioning in humans, rare interspecies interaction indicates high animal cognition, symbol of science and cooperation behavior, enhances understanding of human wildlife relationship, raises ethical and conservation implication. Prelims and main question is given. Just pause the video and go through it. Next news is Cancer Incidence and Trends in India 2025 report. Cancer Incidence and Trends in India 2024-25 report. 2025 report. Recent data from 43 cancer registers in India show a lifetime risk of 11%. Recent data from 43 cancer registers in India show a lifetime cancer risk of 11%. In 2024, an estimated 15.6 lakh new cancer cases and 8.74 lakh deaths were recorded. So these registries cover 10% to 18% of the population across 23 states and union territories. The findings reveals important trends in cancer types, regional variation, and risk factor that inform policy and healthcare strategies. About cancer burden in India, cancer cases in India show gender difference. Women accounts for 51.1% of cases, but only 45% of death. So this is largely due to the types of cancer common in women, such as breast cancer, cervical cancer, which are easier to detect early and treat effectively. Men faces more deadly cancer like lung cancer, gastric cancer, which are really harder to diagnose early. There is shift in common cancer type. Oral cancer has become the most common cancer in India, men, surpassing lung cancer. This rise occurs despite a decline in tobacco use from 34.6% to 28.6% between 2009 to 10 and 2016 to 17, despite a reduce in tobacco use. The long latency period of cancer and other risk factors such as alcohol consumption contribute to this increased trend of cancer. Alcohol increases the risk of several cancer, and combined use with tobacco further compound this risk. Regional variation and risk factors. The Northeast region shows the highest cancer declines, including cervical, lung, and oral cancer. High tobacco use, unique dietary habits like fermented pork fat, and smoked meats, and consumption of very spicy foods and hot beverages contribute to this patterns. Additionally, infections such as Helicobacter pylori, hepatitis, Salmonella typhi are prevalent and linked to certain cancer. State-wise cancer risk, Mizoram has the highest lifetime cancer risk in India, with 21.1% in men and 18.9% in women, far above the national average. Other regions also show varying incidence of specific cancer such as breast, cervical, lung, oral, and prostate cancer, reflecting diverse different environmental and lifestyle factors. About the policy and healthcare implication, this finding guide the planning of cancer care under programs like Ayushman Bharat. In the Northeast, a comprehensive approach is needed, including healthcare infrastructure, community engagement, lifestyle changes, and awareness campaigns. There is importance of early detection and prevention is required. Screening and early diagnosis are crucial. Breast cancer, which account for 30% of cases, can be detected early through screening. Cervical cancer rates remain high, and underscoring the need for HPV, human papillomavirus vaccination, and enhanced screening is required. According to WHO, 30% to 50% cancer are preventable by managed risk factors and applying evidence-based strategies. So, National Cancer Registry Program release estimate and projection for cancer in India, indicating a continuous increase in incidence. So data is given. It estimated in 1.57 million incident cancer cases, with lung and breast cancer remaining the leading cancer in males and female respectively. Cancer in India is given about that 2015, 20 and 2025. Breast, cervix and ovary cancer. Cancer in these flow charts is given. Rising cancer burdens, regional variation is their key challenges, and policy measures is also there. Top 5 most frequent cancers is given. Just pause the video and go through it. Prelims mains question is given. One-liner recap is cancer incidence and trends in India 2025 reports projected rising cancer burden with significant regional variation, emphasizing early detection, lifestyle changes, and improved healthcare infrastructures. Next news is Niveshak DD Phase 2. The Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority launched phase 2 of its financial literacy initiative, Nivesak Didi, in Hyderabad. So this program focuses on empowering rural communities, especially women, by improving their financial awareness and promoting secure financial practices among women. So the event included a camp at Patel Guda Panchayat with key officials emphasizing the importance of informed financial decision and digital inclusion. Nivesak Didi Phase 2 aims to deepen financial knowledge in rural areas. So it targets women to enable them to safeguard savings and participate confidently in financial system. So it is a key feature of Phase 2 is to expand outreach beyond the first, introducing interactive training modules. The focus is on practical skills such as saving, investment safety, fraud prevention, and digital transactions. So, training is delivered in local languages for better comprehension, for better understanding. Role of strategic partners are there. Indian Post Payment Banks plays important role with extending rural networks. Indian Post Payment Banks ensure last mile delivery of financial education and services. So this partnership also provides secure and transparent financial solution to remote areas, increasing accessibility and trust. Women's financial empowerment. Women are central to the program mission. So the initiative equips women with knowledge to make informed decision and protect their finances from fraud and different types of misuse. So it is under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. This program is IEPFA is under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, promote investors education and protection nationwide. So it safeguards citizen against financial fraud and support claim redressal. So Nivesak Didi is part of wider effort to create a financially resilient society through education and outreach. Next news is Pratyush radiometers. Recent advancement in space technology have led to the development of Pratyush, a pioneering radiometer which is designed to explore the cosmic dawn. Cosmic dawn is the epoch when the first when the first stars and galaxies emerged. Cosmic dawn, the epoch when the first star and galaxies emerged. So this compact system based on the single board computers SBC, roughly the size of a credit card. You're carrying credit card, so SBC is the size of your credit card, which aims to detect faint radio signal from hydrogen atoms in lunar orbit. So Pratyush radiometer promises to deepen our understanding of universe earliest phase by capturing signals that are otherwise obscured by disturbed by terrestrial noise. About the cosmic dawn marks the period when the first star lit up the universe. It's fundamentally changed cosmic evolution by initiating the reionization of hydrogen gas. Studying this era helps scientists trace the formation of first cosmic structures. About the role and design of Pratyush, Pratyush is the future space payload design to orbit the moon, specifically its far side, which offers a radio quiet environment free from Earth's interference and atmospheric distortion. The instrument detects the 21 centimeter hydrogen line signal, a faint radio emission that carries information about the early universe. So, a Pratyush radiometer uses a radiometer system integrating an antenna. It has an antenna, an analog receiver, and digital receiver controlled by a single board computer. About master controller, it is similar to Raspberry Pi, acting as a master controller. It has a compact SBC, coordinates the antenna and the field programming gate array chip that process cosmic radio data. In flight modes, the commercial SBC will be replaced by space qualified equivalents. About the technical innovation, the system minimalist design, sizes, reduce weight and power consumption, also less power consumption, which is critical for space mission. Laboratory test of the radiometer demonstrated extremely low noise levels, down to few Kevins, confirming its sensitivity to fed cosmic dawn signal. So this hardware provides improved performance for future mission. Significance: Pratyush radiometers using low mass, high efficiency payloads in space science. So its successful operation could unlock secrets about how the first star shaped the universe. It unlocked these secrets and it might even reveal new physics. So the project marks how small, efficient computing technology can enable groundbreaking cosmic observation from the quietest location in the inner solar system. Next news is India-Japan joint credit mechanism boost climate action. India and Japan recently signed a memorandum of cooperation on a joint credit mechanism under Article 6.2 of Paris Agreement. 6.2 of Paris Agreement. India and Japan recently signed a memorandum of cooperation on a joint credit mechanism. So it aims to strengthen carbon trading, increase investment, and accelerate sustainable innovation. The agreement is amid rising United States tariffs. This agreement is amid rising United States tariffs on Indian goods and China's rare earth export restriction. Because of this India-Japan joint credit mechanism boosts climate action. It offers India a strategic alternative to enhance its manufacturing sector and green technology efforts. So at present, China accounts for over 95% of the world population of rare earths. Background and strategic importance of this collaboration: the India-Japan collaboration memorandum was signed by India's Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and the Government of Japan. Between these two, collaboration happens coincide with long-term agreement worth rupees 10 trillions covering artificial intelligence, defense, semiconductor and critical minerals. The pact comes as the United States imposes a 50% tariff on Indian exports and has excited the Paris Agreement. So India's growing partnership with Japan helps offset these challenges and support its goal to become a global manufacturing hub and leader in sustainable innovation. So about rare earth minerals and supply chain challenges, China's April 2025 ban on medium and heavy rare earth exports to India, including samarium, gadolinium, terbium, and others, has disrupted globally supply chains. Although China has later eased restriction on India for permanent magnets, the situation brought into light India's dependency on China. So India is now insensitivizing domestic manufacturing and processing of rare earth elements. However, building is stable supply chains will take time due to technical and environmental complexities. About carbon trading and climate finance, the India-Japan collaboration facilities JCM facilitates bilateral carbon credit trading to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Credit trading to reduce greenhouse gas emission. It promotes technology and capacity building to meet climate change. So this mechanism operates under Article 6.2 of Paris Agreement, which allows voluntary international cooperation through carbon markets. So it is crucial as global climate finance and technology transfer face deadlocks, especially with the United States' absence from the agreement. Prelims question, main question is given, one-liner recap: India-Japan joint credit mechanism promote low-carbon technology transfer, reduces greenhouse gas emission, supports India climate goals under the NDCs. Flowchart is given: India-Japan joint credit mechanism, technology transfer and low carbon solution, reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, supports India NDC and climate action targets, strengthens Indo-Japan strategic partnership. Role of COP30 is there. The JCM timing is important ahead of COP30, which is scheduled in Belém, Brazil. Discussion at COP30 will focus on implementing rules for international carbon markets. So far only 23 countries have submitted their nationally determined contribution. India-Japan model demonstrate how bilateral cooperation can complement multilateral efforts. So it also marks the need for timely creation of joint regulation of for carbon trading to ensure transparency and environmental integrity. So COP13 busy in Brazil focus. Major topics will include climate finance, indigenous leadership loss, and damage and nature-based solution. Next news, age criteria in Indian education. We will learn in the next video. Thanks for watching. Kindly make the notes of all the important updates. Read, write, and revise. Practice, stay consistent. Achieve your goal with your consistent efforts and with your hard work. Best of luck for your future exam.